I felt it was critically important that I build with the understanding that I must have a garden on the premises that would help to take care of my food security. Something that would provide products that could enhance and complement my food needs. And I started off with a very simple thing that I wish to point out to you. When I built the house, I put in dunk pipes. You see this? This captures water from the roof. So water harvesting was part of the structure, part of the plan. That water is collecting a 400-gallon tank under the house that supplies water to the garden. So even in building the house, I had already planned that is what I had to do. To provide water for the garden, I would capture it from the roof of the house. Claremont is a very interesting place in the sense that it's a place of middle-class people, a lot of them. Lots tend to be a little bigger than normal, and therefore it lends itself to having space that you could utilize for gardening. So in building the house, I located this corner, which is 30 by 30, about 900 square feet, as the place that I would have my garden. So in this 900 square feet, I produce some of the things I need in the kitchen. Let me start off in this corner with the protein. I have 7 rabbits. These are important sources of my protein. I rear them, and when they get to the appropriate size, I do what I have to do, and they end up in the pot, in the kitchen. And really, raising rabbits is not complicated at all. Matter of fact, I think it's easier than raising chickens. The beautiful thing about raising rabbits is you do not have the smells that you get with raising chickens. Here, you can see the feces are there. You don't smell it. I also don't have flies. But in addition to that, all of that is collected and placed into this compost collector here, so that this contributes to the overall sustainability of the garden by providing the organic matter that I need to put into the soil. So I don't have to buy fertilizer. So the rabbits produce what they have to produce, their feces, and that contributes to the sustainability of the garden. On the other side of the rabbits is a collection of herbs. And if you look on this side, you will see that I have my mint. I have what I call my Chinese chive. The Chinese use it to put into their chow mein and their dumplings in Beijing. I have my marjoram. I have my fine leaf thyme. I have my aloes. I have my blue vervain. I have my rosemary. I have my broadleaf thyme. I have the Cuban oregano. I have the very nice flavor, good for pork. I have my lemongrass. And I have a lemon plant that I got recently that I'm not even sure what it is. And I have my broadleaf thyme. So here in this area, I can get all the seasoning that I need to season my rabbit, season my pork, season my chicken, as the case may be. And over there, we'll talk about that a little later, is my chive. These other beds, the other 2, you'll notice that at the edge here, I have kale, I have some cabbage, and I have some tomatoes that are growing. And where on the other side, those things that are climbing up, that's yam. And down here, I have sweet peppers, okra, hot pepper, and in these buckets over here, I have sweet potato. These are sweet potato growing in 5-gallon buckets. I have shown that this works, and in 3 to 4 months' time, you get a lovely set of nice sweet potatoes out of the 5-gallon bucket. As you can see, I have them connected to the same rainwater harvesting that I tell you about is all connected here. Once you see that black tubing, that is connected to the tank under the house. You just turn on the pipe and the water flows right through here. your butterflies are getting in, of course. This is not made to keep out the butterflies. It is made to keep out the monkeys. This is monkey proof. And the monkeys have tried. Not that they haven't tried, they have tried. And they have not been able to get in. Because it is this wire right through. On the sides, on the top, on all angles. This is a monkey proof shade house.
How do you control your pests?
See the little ones coming up there? I have something called neem. It's a neem base. I will show you a neem based insecticide that I use. But to a large extent, it's organic. But to a large extent, what I do is pick the worms off.
Okay.
This is small enough that I can go through and pick off the worm. Yeah. Look, he's picking some of them there. And you see where the eggs are accumulating here? You just kill them. Oops. That's it. They can't survive anymore. They're gone. But, you know, once you see those butterflies, you know you're going to get these coming along. And they love the brassicas. They love the kale. They love the cabbage. Anything that looks like this is their lovely, the food. So this is soilless culture. It is called aquaponics. And the principle of this is that you have fish growing in the water that produce ammonia and urea, and that ammonia urea is toxic to the fish. It is broken down by bacteria, and then that produces nitrate that is pumped up to the lettuce and to any plant that is on the upper level. So you have two levels. At the bottom, you can see the tilapia growing, and at the top are the plants. And what you do not see are the bacteria. Nitrobacter and Nitrosomus are bacteria that break down the elements from the fish into elements for the plants. And then the water returns, there's a cycle, the water returns to the tank cleaned by the plants because the plant removes the nitrate and it returns here to the fish. So this is a cycle going wrong all the time. Therefore, low water use, because I don't have to water the plants every day, because the water is continuous. And you can see my cybe is growing well. I just cut them off and put them back in, and they continue growing. Put them into the kitchen and do what I have to do with them. If you look around here, you'll be able to see that my fish are doing quite well. I can come down here any day now. I mean, they are not quite mature. Another month or so, catch a fish and take it to the kitchen. Now, those are guppies, and they are there to kill any of the mosquito larvae that may come into here. And they are not eaten by the tilapia. Tilapia don't eat the guppies. The guppies are there to control the mosquitoes. There's a submergible pump, and the pump drives the water from down there, and it comes up here and enters here and flows all the time. So the continuous flow of water through these pipes all the time. This water contains oxygen because I have an air pump there, and therefore oxygenates the plant and provides the nutrients for them to grow. Right? And one of the things I have to do almost every morning is to come and check to make sure that these are flowing. Now here's the one that's flowing very nice, and these need cleaning a bit, but this is how they flow. And that water is rich in nitrogenous products that stimulate the growth of the plants. And they control from here. If it's too powerful, I can lower it down a little bit, or I can raise it up a little bit depending on the situation. Now let me tell you about the tank over there. I have some tilapia in this tank, but I will tell you what I'm doing. I am planning to see if I can grow some shrimp. So I'm collecting information right now, and well, that's what I'm looking at. Crayfish. I want to put crayfish in here. So if I get the crayfish soon, I'll have crayfish here, I will have tilapia here, and I have rabbits. So my protein supply will be very, very strong. I decided that it would be good to try to grow the aquaponic system, or have the aquaponic plants in a smaller space. This is 5 by 5, 5 feet by 5 feet, it holds 90 plants, and currently I have 30 fish, 30 tilapia, excuse me. This is a module that I built. At the bottom is the tank with the fish. The fish excrete ammonia and urea, and that passes over by gravity flow into this chamber. In this chamber, I have a filter and I have a submersible pump. And the submersible pump pumps the water up into these pipes and it circulates. And if you look here, you will see water coming down. That water goes right through the pipes. There's a manifold at the back of all of these that collects the water and deposits it back to the fish. So this is again a cycle that goes on all day and all night. The water is being filtered, and the bacteria that in fact are one of the key agents of this process are normally in this chamber. And in this chamber here, which I call the filter, I have clay balls providing a large surface area for the bacteria. So let me show you that. These clay balls provide a large surface area, and these all covered with bacteria. The bacteria break down the effluent from the fish, which is mainly ammonia and urea, and convert it into nitrate, and the nitrate enters the water, and then this pump pumps it up. Okay, so this is one form and something that I thought was good. But then I said, look, if I'm going to make something for the average person, I need something that is portable, something that is mobile, something that can move from one place to the other, because this is basically stationary. And this is where I created what I'm calling my green machine. Let's go over here and take a look. This is an experiment which I was working on for the last couple of months to grow in a small space, basically 6 feet by 3 feet, 60 head of lettuce and 20 tilapia fish. Let me just show you what it's all about. This is a cover that I've built because we have to take care of the monkeys, the birds, and all the other things that will try to get in. Here it is. "60 lettuce plants, a tank for holding the fish, and a tank for the effluents with a filter and a submersible pump." So again, just as we saw over there, in this system, the fish in here produce the effluents, produce the urea, produce the ammonia. That flows then by gravity into this tank through the filter. There's a new form of filter that I've created, using the same clay balls, but in a bottle this time, with holes at the end. The water goes into that bottle, passes through the clay balls and out into this container, and the pump then takes it and drives it up to the plants. If you look here, you get an idea of what's happening. This goes on all day and all night. The water is flowing from the fish into this container and up to the plants. At the back of this then is the manifold that collects the water and returns it to the fish. So the cycle continues continuously. And this is proven to be very interesting because having 60 fish and 20 tilapia, you have a system of controlling the system. You know what's going on. We come in the morning and check to make sure that the water quality is okay, because one of the things in a tilapia system, in the aquaponics system, you have to make sure the water quality is good. You cannot have water that is acidic. You have to keep it neutral, pH 6.5 to 7. And we have a little thing which I'll show you just to check. Dip it into the water, and based on the color, you can tell what the pH is. If it gets too acid, I just put 2 teaspoonfuls of baking soda into the water, and that takes care of the system. The soda reduces the acidity, and it does not harm the fish. One of the things about this system, you have to be very careful because it's very sensitive. You cannot do anything that will affect the fish because the fish is the driver. Every morning, I feed the fish do what they have to do, the effluent comes here, broken down by the bacteria, and is fed into the lettuce bed. And this is a continuous process. So this is my green machine.
What I wanted to know, what variations can we do to allow for a big variety of veg? So for example, you have some lettuce, some kale,
You can put all of those leafy vegetables here. I have just put this in lettuce because there's a trial that I'm doing, but you can put all those leafy vegetables will grow. Chinese cabbage, kale, lettuce, varieties of lettuce, they will all grow here.
excellent. So then you could add to this now maybe some thymus.
Oh yes, of course.
Then
And you can have some bucket and put some sweet potato in it too,
potatoes and
right? Yeah?
perfect.
So you can have your vegetables, or you can have your starch, and you have your fish,
Yes.
right?
So all your food
Basically,
going in your
right here.
What is the, say for instance, what is the, to set this up, what is the cost of setting this up?
Basic costs, about $2,000 to do that.
This,
Yeah, for this. To put this up is about $2,000. Yeah, well, the fish not included. The pump, the structure, the builder structure, the 2 tanks, the pump, the plumbing, these outlets, etc. About $2,000. It's flexible. You can make it smaller, you can make it bigger. Or you can have several of these, if you so care. But this is the basic design that I'm promoting, 6 by 3, and can fit into small space. And in a small space, you can grow your greens and have fish. All you have to do is get up in the morning, feed the fish, check the water. You don't have to check it every day. Check the water to make sure it's okay. And you don't have to water the plants. Every once in a while, you have to put half a gallon of water because you get evaporation. But other than that, this is self-contained. This is a compost bin. Basically, from kitchen waste and lawn clippings. When we cut the lawn, we take the clippings and we throw them here. All the banana peel, fruit, etc., fruit skins are thrown into here. We throw a little bit of, we have some, over there you can see we had some organic matter. Once we put those skins, we put a layer of organic matter and we wet it. And this has been going on. No, there's no odor because it's aerobic. You see all these holes? The odor disappeared. There's no odor, there are no flies. This just keeps going. This has been going now for about 4 months. As soon as this is full, we will leave it for another 2 months and we'll start another one.
Okay. So in all, this is what, 6 months?
This is about 6 months. About 6 months. And this, once you have it here for 6 months, this then becomes available to enrich your garden with organic matter. Right? And these are easy to build. Yeah. It's very simple. It's just mesh wire. You make a circle, tie it, as I have here. Yeah. Right? And you begin to put your in it. Just keep piling it in. Yeah. And every once in a while you wet it.
I know that some of my constituents are interested in starting composting.
Yes.
And so they want to mobilize
this works.
Around it. Yes. Yeah.
This works and it is clean, without odor, without flies.
Great.
But it is good to have this material because then you can cover. If you look here, dig a little bit, you'll see the eggshells and the mango skin. It's all under here, but we have covered it with that so the flies do not get at it. And then you wet it and this remains in good shape breaking down all the time. Sometimes we investigate here and there are earthworms in here. I didn't put them, but there are earthworms here also. Breaking down the remains from the house, breaking down the remains that come out of the fruit skins, the tea bag, the eggshells, they're all thrown here.
I want to sincerely thank you for showing us this morning what you're doing. We have been communicating with each other since
Oh
late
yes,
last year.
we've been working on this project
Yes, because
for a while.
of all things, I really wanted to be able to give my students the opportunity to start and do some food security by planting their own food.
Of course.
That it will help one with nutrition, and it will also help them with the cost of living. And when I heard that he was looking at designing something that was low maintenance, low cost,
No
without
soil.
too much soil, or
No
you know,
pests,
space,
no pesticide.
no space challenges, I said I will wait until he has completed his experiments, and so he has like really truly.
There's an aspect of this that I wish to talk about, which I haven't spoken about yet, which is the benefits of a garden. It is not just producing good organic food. It's also about exercise and peace of mind. Therapeutic, peace of mind, relaxing. I come here and spend an hour and a half in the morning, and after that I'm good for the day, because I'm at peace with myself and at peace with nature.
I believe
That relaxation is very
Our
important.
husband's Heights team calls it therapeutic soil.
Oh yes,
Therapeutic
I
soil.
tell you, it's very
Yes.
therapeutic. The
Yes.
garden, it's relaxing, and you get your exercise. So I also refer to this as my green gym, because after this I don't have to go to the gym. I get my exercise here. So it's 3. 1, exercise. 2, good organic food, and peace of mind.
All the benefits.
All the benefits that you can have from a garden. And there's evidence now that if you do gardening, you live long. So that's the added benefit.
Well, let me thank you, and let me thank you in advance, because remember when we first started speaking,
Oh, yeah.
I said I'm going to need you to come and show my constituents how to do this
Sure.
and encourage them, because what I want to do is to create some mentoring relationships with people who are good with this,
Yes.
and use that as a means of neighbors encouraging neighbors to
Right.
produce. And one of the things I'm hoping it will do in particular is produce better health. We have a severe challenge in Barbados, as you know,
Of
with
course.
the NCDs, and this is affecting people's capacity to work, and as a result, it's a major cost to the economy overall. And so, if we can get people producing, this is going to be important. The other reason why this is going to be critical, we have an unstable situation going on in the world. We've got Ukraine and Russia, and this is going to be affecting food supplies.
Of course.
We also have droughts, severe droughts in some farm communities. We did not anticipate having those.
Definitely.
And then you've got floods. And so to ensure that Barbadians have access to food, it will not always be the cost that will be prohibitive. It will be
Availability.
that availability
Availability.
will not be there. And one of the things that we are seeking to do as a government is to encourage Barbadians to get started with this type of project. And I have to say that St. James South took to it ducks to water. They've been doing marvelous things. They'll be showcasing some of their work later this week, and I'm hoping that this will encourage more people. So we'll be looking to you to come and train and mentor and guide so that they have as positive an experience as they can.
I'm convinced that if more Barbadians get involved in backyard gardening, home gardening, we can reduce the incidence of NCDs and we can reduce the food import bill. All at the same time, killing 2 birds with 1 stone and exercise. So this is something that I think should be part of our development agenda,
It is.
right?
It
In the
is.
sense that it represents a 3-pronged attack on our problems. 1, better nutrition. 2, reducing the incidence of NCDs. And 3, exercise and peace of mind. These are critical issues. The other aspect of it that is very important, which you emphasize, is community. Building community. Sharing the products of your garden. My neighbor over here, every once in a while I walk over and we share tilapia, right? And he has avocado. I don't have, and he shares avocado with me.
And it goes by
And
with
that,
tilapia,
and that,
doesn't it?
of course, and that sharing is part of building the community. A community that we used to know when we were growing up, where people shared and communicated and built partnership. So I think that the backyard garden idea is an idea whose time has come. And I think given the crisis that we have in the world, as you have mentioned, this is the time to embrace it and to make it part of our culture again, as it used to be. Because where I grew up, we had a half an acre land and we were never hungry because my father planted corn, and sweet potato, and yams, and carrots, and cabbage. We had food. And now we have moved away from that. I think it's time we go back. And so I see this unit that I'm trying to put together as something that can be useful, not only for producing small quantities of food, but also letting people know that it is possible to do it. And agriculture is not always about dirt and hot sun and hard work and the fork and the hoe. You can use the technology. So there's much that can be done, and there's much that we can learn from these experiences in terms of making sure that we are food secure, because we don't know when the boats may not come. Thank you very much. Pleasure.
Hi, my name is Maria Joseph. I'm a resident of St. James South. Today we visited Dr. Brown's farm, and it was quite interesting to see how vegetables were grown in such a small space, and how
They use less water.
they use less water than traditional method. It was greatly interesting to us because we do have a community garden,
Neighbors in boots.
Neighbors in Boots and Husbands Heights, and that is basically soil. And it was really interesting to see that how he was growing his produce as well, but not using so much soil, but the aquaponics with the fish and the water, and it was clean. It was
More sustainable.
sustainable, and the crops are maintained really well, low maintenance rather. You don't have the weeds in between, you don't have the pests as well too. And yeah, it was really great and encouraging to see how something was done in such a small space.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Brathwaite, for inviting us this morning and sharing your experience with us. I was really impressed with the composting. I'm also in Husband's Terrace. The composting here is simple. It's an easy method that most people could do. It's just chicken wire, food scraps, and grass, and you have enough aerobic action with the holes through the setup, so that you don't get smell and flies and so on. It's a really easy, anyone can do it composting solution, and which is one area that we're heading in our neighborhood.
Yeah, so again, thank you for this wonderful visit.